Little did Jomo Kenyatta know, this day in 1963 would mark both an end and a beginning. Kenya, a country steeped in rich culture and profound beauty, was at a crossroads. The echoes of colonial rule lingered in the air as the British clutched tightly to the reins of power. Kenya had been under British colonial rule since the late 19th century. By the 1950s, the tumultuous winds of change could be felt across the nation. The Mau Mau uprising, a violent revolt led mainly by the Kikuyu people, became a symbol of resistance against oppression. Jomo Kenyatta, often referred to as the father of the nation, was not just a leader, but a symbol of hope for millions yearning for freedom. In 1952, the British government, fearing the uprising, declared a state of emergency. The situation spiraled into a brutal cycle of violence. Thousands of Kenyans were detained, tortured, or disappeared. British officers executed suspected rebels without trial. The world started to take notice, but for many the reality of this conflict was an unseen horror. Jomo Kenyatta, who had been in exile during the turmoil, was imprisoned in 1953. His incarceration turned him into a martyr. His image was plastered on posters across towns, uniting the oppressed against their colonial masters. During these years, Kenyatta became a figure of resilience, symbolizing the fight for liberty and justice in the face of extreme adversity. As the rebellion intensified, the British didn't just fight the Mau Mau, they fought a narrative. They portrayed the rebels as savages, seeking to maintain order in a chaotic land. Although the Mau Mau rebel forces were desperately trying to overthrow their oppressors, they faced tremendous challenges due to internal divisions and lack of resources. However, the brutal strategies employed by the British military, including the use of concentration camps, were turning public opinion both locally and internationally against colonialism. International pressure mounted as reports of human rights violations emerged, and major powers began to reconsider their stance on colonization. In 1960, after years of relentless fighting, the tide began to shift. Facing increasing turmoil, the British government realized that it could not hold on to Kenya by brute force alone. The negotiations for independence were on the horizon. Kenyatta, having spent years in prison, was released in 1961, just as hope for independence seemed tangible. His charisma and unwavering determination struck a chord with the nation's aspirations. On the 12th of December 1963, this vision became a reality. Kenya finally gained independence, and Jomo Kenyatta was appointed as the first prime minister. It was a day of triumph, celebrated with song, dance, and tears of joy. No longer were they a colony. Kenyans stood proud and sovereign, ready to chart their own future. However, the road to independence did not immediately lead to unity. Ethnic division and competing factions soon emerged, with power struggles raising questions about the country's future. Kenyatta's administration was faced with the delicate task of nation-building amid deep divisions. Still, his determination to forge a united Kenya was unwavering. In the years that followed, Kenyatta established a sense of national identity, emphasizing development and unity. His policies and vision would lay the groundwork for modern Kenya, though not without controversy. Despite this, he is still revered today for leading the country through a tumultuous time and embedding the seeds of democracy and development. As Kenyatta looked out over the land he had fought for, he remembered the sacrifices of thousands. The scars of the past would linger, but Kenya embraced a new dawn, still echoing with the quest for freedom begun all those years ago. Little did he know that his legacy would pave the way for not just Kenya, but inspire numerous movements across Africa as countries began to rise and claim their independence through the trials of the 20th century.